Welcome to Super Great Kids Stories, fun tales to make you laugh and cry, with some of the best storytellers from around the world, recommended for ages 5 to 105. I'm Kim, and I love stories.
On a clear night, if you look up at the sky, you'll see the Milky Way. Scientists tell us that it's a galaxy made from billions of stars and gas, and it looks kind of milky. But the Shoshoni people of North America have their own how and why story about those stars, which involves sparkly snow and some rather grumpy bears. Here's storyteller Pamela Marre to tell us more.
The Shoshoni people of North America have a law that if someone picks a fight and then loses it, he's banished forever from his tribal lands. He has to go and find a new home. And as you can imagine, that means that people try not to pick fights, and that is probably why the law exists. But it is because of this law that there is that trail of stars in the sky that we now call the Milky Way. And this is the story of how that trail of stars came to be. Wacky Black Bear and Wacky Grizzly Bear were cousins. Even though they were family, they often used to scrap and fight. One day, Wacky Black Bear was feasting in an anthill that he'd found, and he was so busy scooping up ants and licking his paws, scooping and licking, that he didn't see his cousin Wacky Grizzly Bear walking up behind him. Wacky Grizzly had come down from the mountains, and without any warning, without even a greeting, he ambled up to the anthill and he tried to get in on the feast. Just think, if he'd asked, I might not be telling this story right now. "Oi!" growled Wacky Black Bear. "I found this anthill, it's mine, and you have no right to it." "Oi! Oi!" growled Wacky Grizzly Bear. "I'll take what I want, whether you like it or not." And he snarled and lashed out at Wacky Black Bear with his long, curved claws. "Oh, no, you won't," Wacky snarled back, and the fight was on. Now, Wacky Grizzly knew he was in the wrong, and perhaps that's partly why he lost the fight. And perhaps it was knowing that he was in the right that helped Wacky Black Bear win. But when the chief of the bears heard of the fight, he was very sad, and he called both bears before him. And although Wacky Black Bear pleaded for his cousin, the chief said, "The law is the law. Wacky Grizzly, you must leave this land forever. Go, now." Hanging his head in shame, Wacky Grizzly Bear shuffled away, with tears in his eyes as he realized that because of his bad temper and his greed, he'd never see his tribe or his homeland ever again. He walked away into the mountains, up the slopes. He travelled on and on, hardly noticing where he was going, until he came to the highest place he had ever been to, and it was freezing cold and dark. Snow covered the ground as far as he could see, and the only sounds that he could hear were the whistle of the wind and his own feet crunching in the snow. Wacky Grizzly had climbed so high that he was above the timberline. He was where nothing grew, no trees, no bushes, no grasses. And then, in the distance, where the sky and ground seemed to meet, Wacky Grizzly could see a faint glow. "I'll run," he thought, "and see what it is, and I'll warm myself up at the same time." He began to run faster and faster until his feet seemed to leave the ground. "I'm flying," he shouted. "I really am flying." And it was true. Wacky the disgraced grizzly bear was flying up into the air, and towards the faint and distant glow flew Wacky Noo. And as he rose, he shook the snow from his silver-tipped fur coat, leaving a twinkling trail behind him. Far away, in the camp of the bear tribes, his former friends and his family were gazing up into the sky. What they saw made them stare in wonder. "Is that a big bear, flying up into the sky?" cried one very young bear. And Wacky Knee Black Bear replied, "Yes, that is Cousin Wacky Noo Grizzly. He's found his way to the heavenly hunting ground in the sky." "But what is that silver trail that's following him?" cried the young bear. "Wacky Noo is shaking the snow from his fur as he flies," cried Wacky Knee Black Bear. "And now they'll always be there. They've become stars, and they will mark the bridge between earth and sky, and from now on we'll call those stars the Milky Way. And that is why, to this day, you can still see the Milky Way, lighting the bridge through the sky that leads to the land of souls."
Thanks for listening to Super Great Kids Stories. Remember to like, subscribe and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. If you like the stories, we'd love to hear from you. Get in touch via our website at supergreatkidsstories.com, where you can also find out more about our storytellers.